place where danger waits, and it's bound to forsake me. So stupid mind.
So let it be written, so let it be done.
What's going on, everybody out there? Peace and blessings. This is Forever Heritage Hip Hop, and if I look really tired and all that, it's because I am. I usually take a break after the Heritage Hip Hop Awards for like a week or two because this is when the school year starts. So I kind of get refocused on getting some things done with my job, right? But I couldn't take a break. Some things have come up and it really pissed me off, and I wanted to have a conversation with you about it if possible. So today we're going to talk about some things, and we're going to get into the topic. Does hip hop really care when people die? Now, I hate to be gloomy. I hate to be the person that brings bad news to the conversation, but sometimes we need to have these conversations. You know, sometimes we really need to talk about the things that are important in our community that people don't have the balls or the guts to talk about, because everybody out here is full of shit. And if I sound angry, I should be, because people really don't care about us. They don't. And a lot of us don't care about us. And people are out here talking about people are talking about elections and all this other stuff. Nobody understands what really is going on in the world. They really don't. And before we get into that topic, I want to talk about this right here. This is our sponsor. She Real has released her 9th studio album. It's called I Don't Rap About My Pussy, which is out right now on SheRealTalk.com. It's the only place where you can get this album. All right, I've reviewed this album. This album is phenomenal. This is a must-have album to have in your collection for this upcoming year. Let me tell you something. This might make it to the Heritage Hip Hop Awards for next year. You can preview the album on SheRealTalk.com right there. And on SheRealTalk.com, hear the album. If you like it, like I always say, and you see here, like what you hear, buy it. This is going to her pocket. She's been on stage with Wu-Tang in Texas. She's been traveling, getting her notoriety up so people can get to see her more. This album right here is special, and she deserves that look. So salute to our sponsor. You heard me right, everybody. Our sponsor, She Real Talk, and her album, She Real, and her album, I Don't Rap About My Pussy, out right now on SheRealTalk.com. Let me tell y'all something. Bars, bars, bars. We're talking bar play on that one. She got some serious bars, all right? So let's get into our subject today, because I want to talk about the things that no one's talking about. This. Does hip hop really care? Does hip hop care when someone dies? I think this is a very interesting subject. This is a very interesting subject to me because I really want to know what you think. Does hip hop really care when someone passes away? Because hip hop does a piss poor job at showing the world we give a damn about our culture, and we give a damn about the people that matter to us. I don't know why that's not fitting inside of the screen. I apologize for this big old space right here, but does hip hop care when somebody dies? This is a conversation that really got me it got me in my feelings because as y'all know, if y'all been following heritage hip hop, when my father passed away, I've been going through a deep depression, you know. And when it comes to death, it's not something that I like to talk about very often. Death is something that bothers me highly. I don't like talking about it. I'm not about that life. I don't like funerals. I don't like when people cry. I have a very low tolerance. There we go. I have a very low tolerance for people passing away. You hear me? That's something I can't deal with on a good level. You know. And in hip hop culture, whenever somebody um whenever somebody has passed away, it always gave me a feeling that I was just never I could never be at ease with. I remember being younger, always being around death, always being around somebody passing away, always being around somebody going through something. And it just even just thinking about it right now, pardon me for looking down. I'm sharing the live so people can get on. Even when thinking about death as a whole, it doesn't sit right on with me. I've seen grown men lose their eyesight and their eyes turn white in front of me. I've seen grown women cry out in pain and then breathe their last breath. I've seen people die and breathe their last breath and just relax. And in hip hop, we take that, not we, but the perception of us, mainstream especially, thinks we take that as a joke. That death is just something so regular that we're not bothered by it. You know, people who watched the Paid in Full video and took one line from that movie and ran with it. People die every day, B. You be all right. But let's be real. When it comes to death, are we ever really all right? Especially in hip hop. Because when somebody dies, not only are we losing a member of our community, but we're losing someone who uses their God given talent to express their voice or the voices of so many that's not heard to the world. Scott LaRock died, right? Big loss for KRS-One. Biggie died. Big loss for New York and hip hop as a whole. Tupac died, same thing. DMX died, same thing. But unfortunately, Tupac and Biggie were assassinated. DMX is still, I don't know. They said drugs. Some people said the jab. I don't know. You have Old Dirty Bastard dying, and you see what happened to Wu Tang and Pimp C. Let's not forget Pimp C, Easy E. There's so many countless of people who passed away in hip hop that we don't even fully recognize and talk about them in life. And then when they die, you got people who fake love them, who want to post pictures and call them the GOAT, act like they really gave a damn about them and their sound. And you have the people that just lie, act like they were always there. They just know everything about this person. And that bothers me because hip hop does a piss poor job at celebrating the people who die. Even like in Hispanic culture, you got like the Day of the Dead where people will acknowledge the dead, right? You have Asian people who still go and they have their monuments to people. I'm not into like, people call them idols or whatever. I don't know. That's your understanding. But people will go there, they still say a prayer to their dead ancestor. You see what I'm saying? You have people who acknowledge ancestors and hip hop doesn't. Hip hop will throw somebody away who's alive and not even cherish the people that is alive within it to this day. And I think I have some answers to that. Maybe it's because of post-traumatic slave disorder. That keeping it real, hip hop is male dominated. So when the men die in our regular lives, a man never hears how much he means to someone because people don't tell a man his worth when he's alive. And then will tell you how much they loved him and give him his flowers when he's dead. So he still doesn't get them because he's going into the ground. You feel me? And is hip hop the same way? Let me give you an example. Heavy D. Does hip hop really celebrate Heavy D as Heavy D being a landmark artist in the culture? Do we talk about Heavy D or have a Heavy D day where we could just really salute Heavy D? Look at how people use Biggie. They just released a new EP, 5 songs. Biggie, right? Notorious B.I.G. We already have these songs, but they're profiting off of his death to the point where every time something new comes out, make money, make money, make money. Biggie, 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 right? And Pac kind of was the same thing. Because I remember Pac, when they had the gay pride, then they had Pac gay pride shirts. And I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, are we really going to run these men's legacies into the ground to make money? And it seems that's what mainstream hip hop does. Look at Big Pun. Now, I have nothing disrespectful to say about anything that goes on with Pun because Pun's image is not ran into the ground. But how do we celebrate Big Pun and how do we honor him? I can't talk for everybody, but what I can tell you about what I see, and what I do see is when people pass away, that's when everybody wants to play their music. That's when everybody wants their discography. They ain't think about them any other time, or they're not being celebrated. Mainstream, underground, or in the community, it's piss poor effort. In the mainstream, we don't even have a radio station that purposefully plays our culture's music in a way where everybody can be equally satisfied at the same time. I'm not saying mix the old and new because you're going to be like turned off every now and then by a song, but there's no middle ground. You either have Hot 97, 105, or the new 94.7 on the East Coast. And we don't have the luxury of a Rock the Bells or something like that because that's satellite radio. But for the mainstream, you have everything that's new versus everything that's old, no middle ground. So everything that's old that's getting played, even the younger generation won't really get to appreciate it because they're not exposed to it. Biz Markie died. Most of the people who are rapping today, if they were kids with televisions, know him from Yo Gabba Gabba. They don't know Biz Markie, Just a Friend. They don't know the Biz Markie that has toys out on Super 7, which you can get exclusively through super7.com or through affiliate through Heritage Hip Hop. Shameless plug. You don't know that Biz Markie that was a musician, just rhyming with the Biz with Big Daddy Kane or Funkmaster Flex, Nothing But Flavor, Just a Friend, It's Spring Again, The Vapors. You don't know about the Biz Markie that was doing the WAP and beatboxing with Roxanne Shante and helping her put her stuff out with the Juice Crew. Do you know the Juice Crew? They wouldn't be exposed to that, right? But Pete Game though. When these people die, that's oh man, Biz Markie was the man. He had this, he had that, he had this. Well, most people when he was alive argued about how he's not an MC, can he really rap, or what was his style, blah, 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 blah. People tore him down that were not of age and some of age. Is that right? You can have your opinion. But when this man passed away, that's when he started getting all the love as a great or somebody who did something to push the community forward. That's asinine and ridiculous. People die in this country, in this culture, in this world so often now that we are desensitized to the violence, the loss, or the empathy that's needed to help somebody get through a loss. I remember the GZA said in the song with DJ Muggs on General Principles, I think that's the name of the song. He said, whenever somebody died in hip hop, it's devastating because it's a loss for the culture. When Eazy-E died, I can tell you, when Eazy-E died, the West Coast mourned because Eazy-E is one of the progenitors of the people who made the West Coast what it was and helped make it lucrative. Now, I can't go into details about his thing with Dr. Dre and all that because that was the unresolved beef. But we don't know what that would have been if it was able to continue. because they were going at it kind of hard, right? You know, with the beef, I'm saying. We don't know what would have happened with Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac. I don't think it would have been a good look. I think it would have been kind of tough. I think that realistically speaking, when Tupac died, hip hop mourned because that was a revolutionary and someone who took it to the public about the people. Come on, you had songs like Keep Your Head Up. You had songs like Trapped. You had songs like White Man's World. Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. You had songs like that. And when those songs left, that mind left, there was a hole there that could not be fulfilled. And Pac was loved all over the country because he represented every type of black person and every type of person in this culture, black, brown, Hispanic, whatever. He respectfully represented all. When Biggie died, Biggie was a loss for the entire culture. East, West, whether you liked them or didn't, you was caught up in that bullshit. That man made good music. And keeping it real, all the rhetoric and stuff that came out about him, whatever, that's all crap. That was a big loss for the culture and the community. Rest in peace to all the men I just talked about. Let's continue though. There's people who died in hip hop that we don't even acknowledge. Like I said, Heavy D. We don't talk about Guru. You see what I'm saying? We don't talk about Badass. And I don't know if you maybe you may not know who Badass is or like Badass from the West Coast. We don't talk about him. We don't talk about Nate Dogg enough. And when it comes to death and hip hop, it just seems to be so regular because now in the mainstream media, the new word for N word is rapper. Another rapper dies, another rapper dies, another rapper gets killed. When Vaughn got killed, murdered, whatever, I mean, it was just like they just reported about it and then swept it under the rug. XXX Tentacion, done, under the rug. PNB Rock, done, under the rug. All these people pass away, and like, how does hip hop honor and care for the people who have been taken away? I think this is total trash that we treat hip hop and the people in it and the culture the way we do. I'm from New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen. That's if you don't know, if this is your first time coming to Heritage Hip Hop, thank you for joining us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. I would love to build with you, et cetera, et cetera. And if you liked it, please donate to, Dinosaur Heritage Hip Hop. But let's get back to the subject. I'm from New Jersey. New Jersey does not get the recognition it deserves. But when people from New Jersey are in the game, they make an impact that is undeniable. We lost Apache, right? Now, Apache had the song Gangsta B, right? Hit, bonafide hit. If you've seen Tretch and Drift on Tretch of Naughty by Nature and Drift of 106 in Park, Freestyle Fridays and the battles and all that, shout out to him on Power. If you know these gentlemen, they're from the Flavor Unit of that family, right? An affiliation. And I asked them about Apache, and the response is about love and appreciation. But what do we do for Apache? Because New Jersey has done nothing for Apache. Look at it's hard to talk about this because there's some people from New Jersey who rhyme that died that I knew. And the way they died was so unexpected that it tears your heart out. Shout out to Deuce H. Wood V, who died in the studio, sat down on the couch and just gave up the ghost. Then you got people like Polo Fresh, aka Chief Boogie, who was taken by doing an honorable deed of helping a student. What then? We recently lost Chino XL. Come on. What is the way we celebrate them? How do we celebrate them? Because these are the hard questions that people aren't asking. And instead of being problem focused, I want to be solution driven. Because I want to know, how do we collectively come up with a way to honor our dead the way we're supposed to, out of honor, out of respect, out of duty for what they've given to this culture? Because no one is talking about Guru or Heavy D. And I'll get even deeper. Nobody talks about the females that have died either. No one's talking about Hurricane G. No one's talking about MC Trouble. No one. No one talks about Miss Melody. And there's countless of other females who I don't have in my mind right now. I apologize if I'm missing someone that you like. I'm sorry. But you know what really sparked this conversation? KRS-One did an interview where he talked about hip-hop has to stop calling people goats and stuff and all that after they die, especially in the mainstream culture, because no one's playing their music to show they give a damn. Fat Man Scoop passed away or on stage. He was on stage, walked off stage, and passed away. What are we going to do for Fat Man Scoop? Are we going to have a mix show and that's it? Mr. C passed away, and regardless of how you felt about his issues or whatever, his addictions, afflictions, or whatever, major contributor to the culture. What do we do for Mr. C? 94.7 always plays his old mixes or whatever, but what do we do for that? How do we celebrate Big L? How do we celebrate Prodigy? How do we celebrate Fox of MOP, another lady who passed away, RIP to Fox? Hip-hop does a piss poor job, man. So I ask you, does hip-hop really care when someone dies? What does the South do for Pimp C? What does the South do for Rico Wade? What do we do to show hip-hop that our people matter? How do we teach the youth to respect the people in the culture when in a society where they're taught not to respect themselves? We're now giving them the audacity and the right, unfortunately, to disrespect themselves who make the art of the culture that represents them. This is bullshit, y'all. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Because at the end of the day, if no one represents us, then we're all doomed. Because our representation will die. We live in a country right now where people are worried about migrants crossing the borders and people taking over project buildings and kicking people out of their homes, their rests, people getting unfair amounts of money while folks that's here don't get money. We're due for an implosion that is going to be harsh. And I pray we get through it. Everybody. But I mean, damn. Are we so focused on what's not going to happen that the reality of death and how it does happen gets totally forgotten until it happens to us? That's fucking horrible. And we're doing it to ourselves, and we're making our representation of us look lax. Horrible. One of my favorite MCs died within the last year, Tame One. Rest in peace to Tame One. And from the fallout of Tame One dying and DJ Chaos dying, Elvis is holding down the artifacts by himself. Look, yo, I ain't even opened my special edition album out. Look, Artifacts, my favorite New Jersey hip hop group. I don't care who we all like who you like, but this is my favorite right here. That's Chaos with the halo. Tame got his halo. And from the fallout of that, now the Artifacts we may not ever have another Artifacts anything but a remix album because of issues or something with estates. But instead of having issues with the estates should get together to do something to honor what they have and the person who's fallen, the people who've fallen. And we can't even get that shit done right. I just saw the Old Dirty Bastard documentary on A&E. And Rashida Jones, who is Old Dirty Bastard's blood sister, Rashida Jones talked about how he went through his issues and it made her hate her cousins, RZA, Jizza, Papa Wu, whatever. made her hate them, and she got up off the camera crying and left. And that was the end of her scene. So death is something that's always fresh. There's always something that has an impact. You don't believe me? Look how far we've gone from people who talked about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X shedding tears for who those men were and what was sacrificed and taken away, to now when people talk, people just pour liquor out and just leave. Or they don't even do that anymore. They just leave. Death has become a fucking party where you have people have stuffed dead people, and they're not laying down. They're at card tables, or people are twerking on caskets and stuff. I'm like, are y'all kidding me? In the books of scripture, it says it's better to be in the house of mourning because it gives you perspective of where you are with God. Because everybody has to walk that line one day. I personally don't want to die, but I know it's there. And you know what? I heard my father always say, getting old is not for sissies. And my father, unfortunately, as much as I love my dad and I wish he was here, my dad was ready to go because he was tired of suffering. In hip hop, we don't even acknowledge the people who suffer. We just play music and we don't honor our dead. We don't honor the people who came before us. We don't honor the people who gave us the beats, the foundation, the culture, the lessons. We don't honor the people who have brought the inner city child, the inner city youth up from being forgotten about and gave them, whether it's 5% Nation lessons, whether it's the hustling, whether it's the music, whether it's the DJing, whether it's the fashion, the entrepreneurship, whether it's dance, whether it's taking the culture itself into higher grounds of education or whatever. We don't even respect that as a culture, mainstream wise, because all you get is a RIP and a mural or a T-shirt, and that's it. I was listening to pain music, right? Because pain music is some of the best music in hip hop because people really pour their hearts into their creativity, right? And I was listening to D Bridges' album No More Losses. And I was listening to the Logan interlude where D Bridges actually raps to his deceased stepfather. And the pain that comes from that is how he's dealing with the loss of someone that meant the world to him. Do our artists mean the world to us? Or has hip hop become such a fast food commodity that people are just inhaling, burping, farting, crapping out the music like that, and we don't even care? Do people actually take time to listen to what these people are saying so they can be appreciated? Because everything is, I'm the best rapper and I shoot you in your face and all this other stuff, right? I got better work than you, I got better money than you. But what about the people who really are giving messages? God forbid we lose Nas or KRS-One or Chuck D in these days and times, because then we'll really see what hip hop really is. Because those are great men who have fought to get something more than music going with hip hop, with classes, with scholarships, with art, with internet radio to produce something for these new artists, with hip hop retirement funds and things that are being worked on for people to really have a chance to survive outside of making beats and rhymes. There's more going on than just this music. And if we lost people of that stature, what would we really do as a culture, not only to see their memory survive, but to celebrate their lives so others can learn from them? I've never heard somebody say it's Guru Day. Let's learn about what Guru did in hip hop so we can honor him. See, Pac would get it because people dick ride Pac. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. People say there's Death Row Pac and pre-Death Row Pac, and some people say it was all of that. The thing that bothers me about Pac's legacy is people will take the negative part of his legacy and run with it and forget all the stuff he did for the people in the community, and that's it. They totally neglect that, but they like that ignorant crap. What about the Pac that actually stood up for people against the police? What about the Pac that was talking about building for the community and things like that. Nobody talks about that. No one. No one. Everybody talks about, oh, he did this against Bad Boy, or did you see Pac disrespecting, spitting at the camera? But nobody talks about the speeches he gave about inner city youth or building centers in the inner city for the kids that have somewhere to go or to stop police brutality. My favorite Pac verses of all time are Smile, because he talked about his soul. And if you really listen to what he was saying, he was telling you a lot about what he was going through and what he was going to go through because he knew it. Shout out to Pac, yo. Rest in peace. For real. How we celebrating Pac out here? I don't say we need National Tupac Day. I'm not saying that. But we do need something in hip hop where we honor our dead and we do it in a way that's more official than what we have been doing so far. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back after this commercial break. I hope that you like the conversation. But I'm going to hit y'all with a blast from the past. Stay tuned.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This Tribal Trigger Trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Do Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop right here, man. Yo, Karab, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it. It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Heritage Hip Hop, The Mic Council, live tonight on YouTube or wherever you're watching it. It's been an honor and a pleasure to bring you not only these conversations like the Mic Council, but our podcasts, our shows, and look forward to new things coming. But to end out our conversation today, I just want to say, take the time to appreciate life. And when somebody passes away, take the time to celebrate, mourn, and remember that person. Because I am very disheartened that we have so many young men and women who are dying in hip hop today that the world doesn't care. You know, I was reading an article on it's called KRS One Reveals Major Gripe with hip hop when it comes to the rap deaths by Hip Hop DX. You can see it now on hiphopdx.com. And it talked about Rich Homie Quan dying. Rest in peace to big Rich Homie Quan. DJ Polo dying. Rest in peace, DJ Polo. Beat King. Rest in peace, Beat King. Enchanting and Fulio. Rest in peace to both of those up-and-coming artists that was shot. And the thing I hate about when people die in hip-hop, everybody starts proclaiming people the GOAT. Everybody starts saying they're the greatest. This was the next Pac or the next Big or the next this or the next that. Instead of just celebrating the person for who they are and the art that they made. And that bothers me highly. I came off of my break to talk about this because it pisses me off that we really don't take the time to celebrate the people who gave us the inspiration to be great. Let me show y'all something else. Y'all see this? If you know the Outsiders, right? Look. Nightlife. Outsiders Nightlife. Look. If you know the Outsiders, right? Slang Ton was one of the most pivotal members of the Outsiders, and he passed away. I'm not blaming the Outsiders. I'm blaming all of us. What did we do for Slang Ton's memory? Right? See the thing? Shout out to my man, Shout out to Jarnell. He said hip hop has to really talk physical and mental health. Yep, it really does. So shout out to my man D Rich. That's my guy. Salute. He said it's a great topic. Thank you. I appreciate you. We really have to talk about what we have to do to honor the people who have passed. Speaking of D Rich, y'all see him right here at Lux Entertainment. What you know about me? Check that out. We lost Govmatic. I'm not patting myself on the back for the Govmatic award that we have. I'm not, because anybody could do that. But the legacy of a person has to take you to the next level, especially when they're not here. And it makes me think, will you miss me when I pass away? Will heritage hip hop matter to you? Would everything that we do or I've done really count? Does Ralph McDaniels really count? How about Todd One? How about Donnie Simpson? Who was my man who did Soul Train? He passed away. Are we celebrating him? Come on. Somebody talk to me, because it seems like society has taught us not to care about us so much that when we die or when someone dies, it's just nothing. D Rich said Gov's born day was the past day. See, I didn't even know that. Rest in peace, Govmatic. But in our society, we've come up with a hatred for ourselves that is not natural. Think about this, y'all. In our country, in the history of our country, brown-skinned and black men and women were murdered, lynched, killed, and people were forcibly told to move on. And the mourning in our community has never stopped. And then as soon as we got desensitized to the mourning, we don't even acknowledge the fact that we're hurt anymore. Goes to my friend's point about physical and mental health. A lot of our people in hip hop are really hurting, and we don't know why. And a lot of that hurt gets passed on to people as a social norm. Back in the past, when people used to smoke, it wasn't for recreation. It was for spiritual and gathering. It was for something that you did for celebration, not recreation. And I'm not saying you can't recreationally do what you want, but it has a certain meaning to it. And we've gotten away from that spiritual meaning of things. It said when Adam died in the Bible, people mourned for like months. The first man, right? Whether you believe the story or not, that's on you. I don't care. The point is, when the man died, it meant something to the world. And I want you to realize that death has become so politicized, and it's been so natural in our community that now we could kill on video games easily. People get killed on social media, and people don't even go, ugh, and they flinch. They just watch it. Death now, murder, I'm talking about. Rape. Sorry, the R. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, but people have these things going on, and we're so desensitized to it that it's natural. We have documentaries now out now about serial killers. We have pages on Instagram and on social media that shows people getting taken out. And it's disgusting. But also, we have a history of people who were getting lynched and killed to the point where it was fun and entertainment. And now we are so entertained with death that we don't even mourn and appreciate the lives that are lost and through death. Jarnell says, our conditioning dictates our story. We glorify the struggle. We glorify the depression without understanding that's what we're doing. Death, substance abuse, mental numbness. I agree. And you know what also hurts me? People praise the coffin instead of praising the life that they have. Because I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I'm a fan of ignorant hip hop. I ain't gonna front. Onyx had a song called "I'll Murder You," and they gave it to one of the groups, and "I'll Murder You." And me and my boy who was just on, we was on the bus. F that, we're better off dead. F that, we're better off dead. But were we? I get what the man was talking about. We were young and we just laughed because it was just music to us. But even Pac said, stop bobbing your head and really listen, because this is an agreement. And if you really agree with that, well, then, you got to take the consequences and then blessings that come with it. Yeah. But you have to be on point with what you're agreeing to, because that's the spirit that you take on. D. Rich says they've normalized the self-destruction as a way of life for our youth. And that's a problem. Because people will tell you Martin Luther King didn't march for this. And half the people don't even know what Martin Luther King marched for, because he didn't march for segregation and integration only. It was financial and economic things. And the sad part is people have been raised economically to be our detriment, because they make the death that we're enjoying. Come on, man. J. Rooter Damage just said, the same chips that power nuclear bombs power my Sega. So this death thing is bigger than just music. It's really about us and how we take our time to look at life. How do we enjoy life? Are we enjoying life? Are we valuing life for what it is? There's some people who won't go past their block or past their neighborhood. They won't do it willingly. But if you travel the world and see the world, you have a better understanding of what life is, because you get to see how other people live. You get to see maybe you're spoiled as hell and there's other people out here that don't have, and they would give anything to be able to be in your shoes for one day. Or we have people who, when they pass away, they still have their murals up and play their music. Tito Puente passed away. Hector Lavoe passed away. They're making movies about their lives. Who's gonna? All right, we have Biggie and Pac, right? But who's making the story of someone from our community that didn't have to go through that, but could teach the world something about their example? Where's the Rico Wade story? Now, hip hop is hard because hip hop was birthed out of depression, economic uncertainties, and all this other stuff. So I get it, but we have so many stories that can be told. Shout out to MG Martinez for doing the DJ Clark Kent documentary, because he's alive to see it, is what I'm saying. Let me show y'all something, y'all. It took for this man to die to get one of these. DMX. It took Biggie to die to become an action figure. It started the trend to get other people to see who they are and everything, but let's be real. Shout out to D. Rich. He said Dick Gregory and Dr. Sabi. Yeah, how do we celebrate them? I watch this documentary every Black History Month called Eyes on the Prize. I think y'all should check it out, because maybe it'll help you understand why hip hop was necessary, and also what the impact of death is. For anybody who has children, come on, yo. The girls who died in the church bombing, right? But they only talk about the girls in the church bombing. What about the little boy who died in the church bombing? Nobody talk about him, right? I digress, because we could do the flip in hip hop. Everybody talks about the men, but nobody talks about the women that die. I go back to MC Trouble. MC Trouble died of she had a sickness, I think. They don't talk about Miss Melody, who really helped KRS-One a lot with BDP, Boogie Down Productions. You know? Like I said, there's so many other women. Boss. Yeah, John. Yeah, Boss. Def Jam signed her and wanted her to be Def Jam West, I think. And they wanted her to rock with Onyx, Living Loc. Y'all know that song. Rest in peace to Boss. Then we have people in our own community who die. And how do we celebrate them? Shout out to Rashad's son, rest in peace. Shout out to Deuce H. Wood, rest in peace. Deuce H. Wood the fifth, sorry, rest in peace. Shout out to Polo Fresh, aka Chief Boogie, rest in peace. Chino Excel, rest in peace. MC Trouble, yes. MC Trouble. Gangsta Boo passed away. Good call. I forgot about Gangsta Boo. Yeah, Gangsta Boo. Rest in peace. How is Memphis? Miss Melody. Yeah. How are we going to celebrate them? We don't celebrate Heavy D. We don't celebrate Guru. What are we going to celebrate? How are we going to celebrate Polo? And how are we going to celebrate Biz Markie? Like I said, everybody gets sad when it's the top artist in the game. Biggie, Pac, Eazy-E, Big Pun, DMX. That's 5 right there. Old Dirty Bastard, somewhat. But who celebrated Dr. Doom? Who celebrated Granddaddy IU? There you go. Look. And my thing is, the solution I think we should do, we should have one day. We should have one day in hip hop where we take that one day to just remember those people and play their music. Jarnell says Heavy D and Biz Markie deserve so much more because of the doors they open. Correct? That's my point. We need to take one day. It could be, I don't know, y'all could be Roman if y'all want. Y'all could do it a Halloween. I don't care. But one day to just relax and just remember the people that we lost. Dave from De La Soul. Yeah, that's another one. Fife Dog. Let's go Fife. Let's do it. I mean, look, it seems like every major movement and crew has lost somebody. The ASAP family lost somebody. I don't know if Our Future lost anyone. I don't know. Dipset may have lost some people. I don't know. But we should always take the time to remember the people that were here and left. Professor X. Yeah, that's another one. Keep dropping names, y'all. We should take the time to really sit back, relax, and decompress from the people, and acknowledge the people that we have lost. Prodigy, come on. Like I said, Big L. Freaky Ty was brought up. Shock G, a genius in production and artistry. We have so many people that are gone who have done so much. And if you want to take it outside of hip-hop, what about the people who inspired hip-hop? What about Michael Jackson and Prince? What about Whitney Houston? What about Miles Davis? We don't talk about these people. I said Pimp C, true. We don't talk about the people who have given so much to us to inspire us to be great. And it's sad. Yep. The two members of Two Live Crew, Brother Marquise and Kid Polo and Kid Fresh, I think his name is. The Asian looking one. Yeah. Jarnell says it should be coupled with health awareness situation. Many died from diabetes or other health related issues that could have been prevented. Yes, you're absolutely correct. And shout out to Styles P and the Locks for trying to push the health initiative. Shout out to I don't know if y'all know about this, but there's a vegan hip hop movement. Shout out to them. Shout out to my brother Dox Diggler, who's a yogi. He's doing like Buddhism type in Buddhism in hip hop. Yes, if hip hop is a culture, we need to start looking at those things that affect us, like food, recreation, smoking, drug addiction, over sexualization. Like I hear right now, they're talking in I study a lot of podcasts, and I've been trying to build heritage hip hop, not to be like them, but to kind of get into some of that stuff, right? Wow, sleep apnea. Yeah, that's a deep one. But I see so much stuff about men and women hating each other, and I don't want to go metaphysical and talk about the death and love and all that. I don't want to get into that, but I will say people focus so much on how much they don't like something or someone that they don't focus on the good things that we have and celebrate it. Like so many people, like the hip hop now out is garbage, all garbage, but y'all don't take good artists that you like and lift them up. You don't even buy their music. So I want to hear like people's BS. Like I said, I'm not problem focused. I'm solution driven. We need to come up with a day where we can celebrate our dead and give them the love and respect that they deserve. Not that person was young, I ain't listen to his music, or that person was old, I ain't listen to his music. Nah, we just really need to have it. Because think about this, even if you read the holy books, right? There's a day to praise God, which we all need, a Sabbath day, right? There's a fasting celebration. Some people do it for a week, Ramadan. Some people do it for a day, Yom Kippur. Some people do Lent, which is fasting. I mean, it's part of the thing, right? We don't do that in hip hop, but we're a culture. How? How is it a culture when we're not celebrating our very important days, our Independence Day? We have a birthday that is agreed upon, August 11, 1973, right? That's agreed upon. But we chose that day to make it special. So where's our day to honor those people who have fallen away? Send this to KRS-One. Send this to Chuck D. I dare you. Because if I see KRS-One again, I'm going to bring this up. Because I think this is unfair. That if you look at the picture, that's a person with no face, with an insignia on it, with his hands folded. Does hip-hop care when somebody dies? Do you care when someone dies? Of course you do, especially if it's close to you. But think about it in the overall overarching thing. I'm gonna tell you this. When Marvin Gaye died, my mom died inside. Because that was her favorite artist. And now she lost a part of her that felt free when she heard new music. When Tupac died, a lot of you died because you lost the revolution that just fell to the ignorance. When Biggie died, I ain't gonna front, a part of me died because Biggie's one of my favorite artists of all time. I don't care about top fives and all that. Biggie made music that really hit my heart and it meant something to me. When Tame One died, I wasn't feeling it. And I remember when Double O called me and talked about Tame One and Hurricane G, because I think they died on the same day. Double O was crushed, and you heard it in his voice. Are we really crushed when people die? Oh, of course not, because we just take music and listen to it and throw it away, and these people don't matter. We don't think about their families. We don't think about what they're going through. All this conversation we had, we never talked about Nipsey Hussle, not one time. And that's one of the biggest losses in hip hop that I don't even talk about what could be, what it could be. I just know that the loss itself meant a lot to that community and to the world because Nipsey was going to put the higher level of thinking and elevation into the hood that people were scared for inner city children to get because people are scared about these children learning social media, AI, and learning how to make money without going to work and people having remote jobs. People are scared of that because we were taught the lie of going to school and working and being someone's slave where they're learning. I could go to school, but I could also have the skills required to make money to make people who are in positions come hire me because they need me. I'm not telling you which one is better. I'm not telling you which worse. I'm just telling you we have to do better as a community. Personally, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm still not healed from my father dying. Because when I think I'm getting better, I get sad all over again. And it hurts like hell. I can't even explain it to people I love how much pain I feel. Because you're supposed to get better and you're supposed to have life go on. And you're supposed to, it may not, a pain never go away, but you're able to function. I'm not functioning. I'm sad. And the thing is, when it comes to hip hop culture, who's carrying the weight to still be sad for these people, even though we must move on? What are we doing to celebrate? Black History Month has even got taken from us because we don't even talk about the real of Black History Month. We're just giving 3 people to remember: Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and maybe Malcolm X. We don't talk about Medgar Evers. We don't talk about Dr. Sebi at all, who should be in Black History Month. We don't talk about Dick Gregory or Fannie Lou Hamer, one of my favorite activists in history. That's right, a lady. We're talking about the story of Harriet Tubman, but we don't talk about the real, like Sojourner Truth and Shirley Chisholm, Bob Johnson, etc. We have to do better. So I'll leave you with this. Does hip hop care when somebody dies? I don't know. But I will leave you with two verses that really affected my life within this past year. One's by CF of Jersey City. He goes by CF201 on Instagram. And I think it's on what's the name of his album? It's not Nilo Him, is it? No, I think it's Funhouse or something. But he says, we buy things that we don't need with money that we don't have to impress people that we don't like. And that's life. But that's not the life we have to choose. And the last verse that really shook my soul when I heard it comes from Ransom on his new album with Conway the Machine called Chaos Is My Latitude. And he says, when you're born, you look like your parents. But when you die, you're going to look like your life choices. So with that being said, let's choose to do better. Let's choose to do right by each other. Let's choose to be righteous. And let's choose to have each other's backs. If you like what you're seeing tonight, I ask that you subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on all social media. You see that down there. Subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube. Follow me on all social media platforms. If you like the podcast, you like the show, donate to $ Heritage Hip Hop. Follow me on streaming platforms as well. You can hear this show as an audio show. It's not only a video show, a vlog. I'm around. I'm going under again, y'all, and I hope you like the art of storytelling. We have 2 more episodes coming for season 1. The 2 more episodes we're going to do is Duckworth by Kendrick Lamar and Rewind by Nas. If you don't know what the art of storytelling is, I review storytelling songs and their overall impact on hip hop culture. So with that being said, this is Karev at Heritage Hip Hop saying thank you for watching. May the Most High bless you. Peace. And I'm out.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real